Antarctica is the coldest, driest, and most isolated continent on Earth. Covered by an ice sheet that averages nearly 2 kilometers in thickness, it is a landscape defined by absolute desolation. Yet beneath this frozen desert lies a world completely hidden from human eyes. For decades, Antarctica has been protected by the International Antarctic Treaty of 1959, which bans military activity and limits access strictly to scientific research. But as satellite technology, ice-penetrating radar, and deep-core drilling have advanced, the official narrative of a dead, frozen continent has begun to fracture. Beneath the ice, scientists have discovered massive liquid lakes, mysterious geothermal heat signatures, and magnetic anomalies that defy geological explanation. Today, we open the files on Antarctica, exploring the classified expeditions and the terrifying structures buried deep within the southern ice. To understand the mystery of Antarctica, we must look at what lies directly beneath the ice sheet. In the late 20th century, Russian and British scientists using satellite radar discovered Lake Vostok, a subglacial liquid body of water nearly the size of Lake Ontario, buried under 4 kilometers of solid ice. Despite being sealed off from the Earth's atmosphere for over 15 million years, the water remains liquid due to intense geothermal heat from the Earth's crust and the immense pressure of the ice above. When Russian scientists finally drilled into the lake in the early 2000s, the telemetry data from their probes revealed something extraordinary. The water was hyper-oxygenated, and the sonar scans detected large, unexplained cavernous spaces between the water surface and the ice ceiling. Rumors leaked from the research team suggested that the probes captured thermal signatures of living organisms moving in the pitch-black waters, organisms that evolved in complete isolation, possessing biological traits completely unknown to modern science. But Lake Vostok is not the only anomaly. In 1966, a joint military and scientific aerial survey conducted by the United States tracked a massive magnetic anomaly in the Wilkes Land region of East Antarctica, spreading across an area of nearly 300 kilometers. This variation in the magnetic field indicates a massive concentration of dense metallic material buried beneath the ice. Geologists officially hypothesize that the Wilkes Land anomaly is the remnant of a massive asteroid impact that occurred millions of years ago. However, independent researchers and engineers note that the shape of the anomaly is perfectly symmetrical, forming a massive aerosol ring deep within the bedrock. The density of the object is far greater than any known meteoric rock, leading to darker theories. Whistleblowers from the defense sector have suggested that the United States military, under the guise of scientific research, has established deep ice-boring operations to reach the perimeter of this anomaly, believing it to be an artificial structure or a buried technological relic left by an advanced civilization that existed before the ice sheet formed. The mystery deepens when we examine the historical records of the early 20th century. Before the Antarctic Treaty locked the continent down, Nazi Germany launched a highly classified expedition to Antarctica in 1938. Led by Captain Alfred Richer, the expedition claimed a vast territory in Queen Maud Land, naming it New Swabia. The official reason was to establish a whaling station, but the true nature of the mission was highly esoteric. Nazi scientists obsessed with ancient history and occult technologies believed that Antarctica was once part of the lost continent of Atlantis, a warm landmass that shifted due to a sudden crustal displacement. Declassified logs from Soviet intelligence show that German U-boats frequently charted deep underwater thermal tunnels leading beneath the ice shelves of New Swabia. Grand Admiral surrender of Germany in 1945. Dozens of advanced Type 21 submarines vanished from Allied ports. Intelligence reports indicated that many of these vessels made a final one-way journey to the southern polar region, sparking fears that a classified base known as Base 211 had been established beneath the Antarctic ice. This fear led directly to the largest military operation ever conducted in Antarctica, Project Highjump. In 1946, the United States Navy deployed a massive task force to the frozen continent under the command of Admiral Byrd. The fleet included an aircraft carrier, submarines, destroyers, and over 4,000 heavily armed troops. The official objective was to train personnel and test equipment in extreme cold conditions. But the scale of the deployment suggested a combat mission. The expedition, scheduled to last 6 months, was abruptly terminated after just 8 weeks following significant and classified losses of aircraft and men. Upon his return, Admiral Byrd gave an interview to the international press that shocked the world. He warned that the United States must take defensive measures against enemy fighters that could fly from the polar regions at incredible speeds. Byrd's official diaries, parts of which remain classified, described flying through deep, ice-walled canyons into a geothermal valley where the ground was free of ice, covered in green vegetation, and monitored by advanced, disc-shaped aircraft that easily disabled his fleet's navigation systems using intense electromagnetic pulses. The strategic lockdown of Antarctica in the decades following Project Highjump only intensifies the suspicion. Today, the entire continent is monitored by a network of military satellites, and civilian travel is strictly regulated. Tourists are confined to specific coastal zones, and independent expeditions into the interior are legally prohibited under international law. In 2016, public interest was reignited when Google Earth users spotted what appeared to be massive, symmetrical structures protruding through the melting snow in the Queen Maud Land region. These formations, resembling giant pyramids with perfectly straight edges and steep slopes, align precisely with the cardinal directions. While mainstream geologists argue that these are natural geological formations known as nunataks, structures shaped by wind and ice erosion, architectural experts note that nature rarely creates three-sided structures with mathematical precision. The location of these pyramids corresponds exactly with the old German New Swabia sector, leading many to believe that the melting ice is slowly revealing a massive ancient city that predates human civilization. The modern reality of Antarctica involves highly advanced black-budget scientific installations that operate under complete secrecy. The Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station houses the South Pole Telescope and the IceCube Neutrino Observatory. IceCube is a massive facility that utilizes thousands of digital optical modules buried deep within a cubic kilometer of clear Antarctic ice to detect neutrinos, subatomic particles that pass through the Earth from deep space. However, whistleblowers who worked at the station as maintenance engineers have reported that the IceCube facility functions as something far more dangerous. They claim the immense energy output of the facility is capable of being reversed, turning the entire subterranean ice grid into a massive directed energy weapon, or an ELF, extremely low frequency transmitter capable of communicating with deep submerged submarines and manipulating tectonic plates across the southern hemisphere. The ice acts as a perfect insulator and amplifier for these low-frequency waves, allowing the military to operate a global communications and warfare completely hidden from public scrutiny. We are left staring at a continent the geothermal caverns or advanced scientific arrays capable of altering global geopolitics. The truth remains buried deep beneath the permafrost. The treaty holds the world back. The satellites watch the borders, and the ice continues to hide the anomalies from the eyes of humanity. The vault remains locked, but the ice is melting.